From Super League to Olympic distance to age group world records to Kona. Go longer with the right fuel at the right time with SFuels.
Steer it up, little darling, steer it up. Come on, baby, 'cause it's breakfast with Bob.
Thank you, Poncho Man. Welcome to our 11th year of Breakfast with Bob from beautiful Huggles on the Rocks. My name is Bob Babber. We're brought to you by Master Spas, SFuels Go Longer, HOKA Let's Fly, Form Smart Swim Goggles, Quintanaroo, Zoot, the original triathlon brand, and of course, our Challenge Athletes Foundation. She is coming off a huge prize money day, PTO Canadian Open, third place. Chelsea Sodaro joins us. How you doing, Chelsea?
Hey, Bob. I'm doing really well. Thanks for having me.
I am ecstatic to have you. And look at your year. Second at Hamburg, right? Third at the PTO Canadian Open. This has been a great season.
Yeah, I've had some really high highs this year and some lows as well. But, I'm riding it all and looking forward to getting out here on Thursday.
So when you saw what the prize purse was going to be at somebody's the Canadian Open, the U.S. Open, you're like, wait a second. I get third, you get $50K. That's more than I would get for winning most races.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the PTO is doing amazing things with how they're investing in the professional side of the sport. But for me, obviously this is my job. This is how I'm supporting my family. But
Right.
I love to race the best people. And so that's honestly why I was in Edmonton. I wanted to see where I could stack up against the best women in the world. That's why I'm here too.
Did it surprise you getting third there? That was an incredibly deep field.
I think that the way the race played out surprised me. I had the worst swim of my life. I had a full-on panic attack.
Really?
300 meters into the swim, I came out minutes behind the crowd where I usually come out of the water with, and I just focused on myself for the bike and bridged my way up to, I think, 8th or 10th or something like that, and finally felt like myself on the run. I gave birth to my daughter 18 months ago, and it's really taken that long to find my run legs again. So I was super pleased with it. I think that, on some levels in sport, people say you're only as good as your last performance, but I think that you're as good as your best performances.
Yes, you are. And coming from the world of running, we're talking 6 stress fractures, right? And All-American 2012, 2013, 430 mile, 847 3K, 1510 5K. Was it one of those things you were recovering from an injury and so you started riding a bike and jumped in the water and that led to triathlon?
I had a really disappointing day at the 2016 Olympic trials in the 10K.
And what distance? 10K. Okay.
I was racing the 10K. I had the Olympic standard, and my goal was to make the team. But I had, the worst possible day on the most important day, and I was pretty banged up. My husband and I were watching the Rio Olympics triathlon, and he said, "Hey, you cross-train all the time. I think you could be pretty good at triathlon." And I just laughed at him, but he got me a bike, and we started riding together, and I was doing masters just to, cross-train, and we all do, I just got kind of obsessed with the idea of triathlon.
And that happened, what you're talking 2016, you're just not that long ago.
Yeah, I did my first triathlon in the spring of 2017. Raced on the ITU circuit for about a year and a half and then switched over to this crazy stuff.
And when you switched over, was it like, oh my God, this is where I'm meant to be?
Yeah, I think that, I'm a good athlete. I have a run background, and more than anything, I really love to challenge myself. I think that this sport is so much about our minds and our desire to push ourselves and see what's possible, and those are things that I'm good at.
Do you ever look back and go, boy, I sure wish we were cycling and swimming when I was running? Because I remember Gwen telling me she was running half the miles that she ran in college and running faster, and she felt the swim and bike played a big role.
Sure, I actually incorporated a lot of cross-training when I was running professionally. But I think that accumulation of volume and time on my legs has really given me an edge in triathlon. I have this run background that I can pull from and rely on.
What did you gain from your training camp that you did here?
Yeah, this is actually my 6th time on the island right now, believe it or not. It's my first time racing.
First time racing, though.
First time racing here, but I came for several camps with Sarah Piampiano. I used to train with Sarah, and I learned so much from being out here on the course with her, and I've watched the race a couple of times, so it sort of feels like home to me.
I love it. And what are you thinking in terms of goals for this? Again, first time here, but the way you've gone from runner to triathlete to elite triathlete to now first time at Ironman, I'm imagining you have pretty high expectations.
You know, I think expectations are really dangerous, especially here, because the field is so deep, the conditions in the course are so challenging. So I think that, you know, I will have my best day out there if I just focus on myself and I focus on executing my best swim, bike, and run. I have a lot of confidence in my training. I'm coached by Dan Plews, who actually has the amateur course record.
Yes, he does.
Here. And so if I can do anything like what he did out here, I'll be in business, I think.
That's going to be really cool. And so is your season over after this?
TBD, actually.
You've qualified for 70.3 Worlds.
I've qualified for 70.3 Worlds. I've invested a lot in this race. My family has invested a ton. It takes a village to get an athlete here healthy and in one piece. And then when you add an 18-month-old baby onto that, it takes like a whole nother level, I think, of dedication. So I'm looking forward to having a great day on Thursday and then being a mom for a few weeks, and we'll see after that.
Have you stayed healthier as a triathlete than you were as a runner?
Absolutely, I have. I had a little injury about 5 months after I gave birth to my daughter Sky. But aside from that, I've had a few niggles here and there, but I think the combination of swim, bike, and run and the strength training that I do has enabled me to be a really well-rounded, healthy athlete.
Love it. Chelsea, have the best race ever.
Thank you so much, Bob. Thanks for having me.
Chelsea Sodaro, everybody. Poncho Man.
Come on and steer it up. Little darling, steer it up. Come on, baby. And it's Breakfast with Bob. Chee-hoo.
That's Poncho Man, everybody.